Ben Franklin once said that nothing is certain but death and taxes. If he were around today, though, he'd probably add something else to that list: cyberattacks. Because a security incident is all but inevitable for nearly every organization. A cyber attack puts the finances, operations, and reputation of an organization at risk. A major breach can even drive a company out of business. To fight back, every organization needs a cohesive incident response strategy, backed up by a well-trained team to implement it. Here, we'll get into incident response basics and strategies, but to dig deeper, explore our complete collection on all things incident response by clicking the link above or in the description below. First of all, what is incident response? IR is an organization's planned approach to detecting and managing cyber attacks. The goal of IR is to minimize risk and to limit the damage, recovery time, and cost of any security incident. A few other terms you should know before developing an IR strategy: vulnerability, threat, incident, and data breach. A vulnerability is a weakness in the IT or business environment. A threat refers to whomever exploits that vulnerability. That could be a cybercriminal, or it might be a company insider. An incident is a cyber attack that successfully accesses enterprise resources or somehow puts them at risk. And a data breach is a type of incident where an attacker compromises sensitive data like personally identifiable information or intellectual property. Finding and fixing vulnerabilities will reduce the odds of a successful attack on your systems or data. But when an attack succeeds, that's where your incident response strategy comes into play. Your IR strategy begins with an incident response plan. That plan is your organization's go-to set of documentation that details 4 essential things: what, who, when, and how. Let's break those 4 down. What refers to what threats, exploits, and situations qualify as actionable security incidents, and what the organization will do in response. Who specifies who is responsible for tasks if a security incident occurs. When means when exactly and under what circumstances your incident response team members perform specified tasks. And finally, how describes how team members should complete those specified tasks. An incident response plan, in other words, is a detailed, authoritative map to guide your incident response team through the steps they need to take, from initial detection of a security incident to assessment and triage, and finally, to containment and resolution. It's essential that your organization drafts, vets, and tests its incident response plan before a crisis strikes. Here are 4 steps to get you started. Step 1. Establish policy. By policy, I mean the evergreen document that gives the overall high-level priorities for when a security incident occurs. A good policy empowers incident responders and guides them in making sound decisions when things go wrong. Step 2. Build your incident response team. An IR plan is only as strong as the people carrying it out. So put in writing who handles which tasks. Then get those people trained. Step 3. Create playbooks. Playbooks are the lifeblood of incident response. An IR policy offers the high-level view, but the playbooks get into the weeds by standardizing step-by-step the actions the IR team takes in specific scenarios. Having playbooks to reference means greater consistency, efficiency, and effectiveness in real-life incident response situations. Step 4. Create a communication plan. Good communication is essential, so work out in advance how all executives, communication specialists, legal counsel, and HR will communicate with one another and with the rest of the organization. These 4 steps are just the beginning. Your IR plan should also include a plan overview, a list of roles and responsibilities, a list of incidents requiring action, the current state of network infrastructure and security controls, detection, investigation, and containment procedures, eradication procedures, recovery procedures, a breach notification process, a list of post-incident follow-up tasks, a contact list, an IR plan testing process, and last but not least, a process for revising all the above as needed. Don't wait until there's a security incident unfolding to find out if there are holes in your IR plan. Test that plan. Hold regular simulations that feature various attack scenarios, such as ransomware, malicious insiders, and brute force attacks. You can hold an IR tabletop exercise to vet the IR plan and talk through the specifics of an attack and how the team will respond. You could even try an operational tabletop exercise, which includes hands-on tasks with enactments of relevant processes. After any simulation, the IR team should study what happened and take the time to outline any needed additional controls by brainstorming ways to improve processes. Then, update the IR plan accordingly. Creating an IR plan is not a set-it-and-forget-it proposition. It must evolve. Because the threat landscape is continually changing, so is your IT infrastructure and business environment. Experts recommend formal, comprehensive reassessments and revisions annually, at the very least. An IR plan takes a lot of effort, but there are established frameworks that can give high-level guidance and direction. They're available from NIST, the SANS Institute, ISO, and ISACA. Each of these organizations' frameworks differ slightly in approach, but all describe 6 phases of incident response. The preparation phase, when you build your IR team and create policies, processes, and playbooks. The detection and identification stage, when you employ IT monitoring to detect, evaluate, validate, and triage security incidents. The containment phase, when you take steps to stop an incident from worsening and regain control of your IT resources. The eradication phase, which focuses on eliminating threat activity, including malware and malicious user accounts. The recovery phase, where you'll focus on restoring normal operations and mitigating vulnerabilities. And finally, the lessons learned phase, when you review the incident to establish what happened, when it happened, and how it happened. This is when you flag security controls, policies, and procedures that function suboptimally and identify how to improve them. This phase concludes when you've updated your organization's IR plan accordingly. The technical team is the core of the IR team, including IT and security personnel with technical expertise across company systems. It might include an incident response manager, an IR coordinator, security analysts, threat researchers, and forensics analysts, among others. The IR team might also have an executive sponsor, that is, a senior executive or board member. There should also be communication specialists on your IR team, like PR representatives and others who manage internal and external communications. An IR team might also draw from different departments, such as legal, HR, business continuity, and disaster recovery, as well as the physical security and facilities departments. And finally, you might consider adding some external players, like cybersecurity or IR consultants, external legal representation, MSPs, and managed security service providers, cloud service providers, or even vendors. A good IR team needs good tools to work with, and there are many out there, including anti-malware tools, backup and recovery tools, cloud access security brokers, data classification tools, data loss prevention technology, endpoint detection and response tools, firewalls, intrusion prevention and detection systems, security information and event management, and finally, security orchestration, automation, and response tools. Most organizations require a mix of tools and technologies to build an effective defense. It's likely your organization already has tools deployed. Managing them, plus adding new ones the IR team decides are needed, can be too much for an in-house security team to handle. But automation can help by monitoring alerts and by investigating and responding to possible threats. This conserves staff energy so it can focus on more high-value activities. For organizations facing serious threats or those that have multiple locations, outsourcing may be the key to cybersecurity. IR service providers can take over many aspects of IR work, from managing regulatory compliance to carrying out threat hunting and penetration testing to managing a security crisis situation. Incident response is a cornerstone of any enterprise cybersecurity program. Being able to quickly respond to the unavoidable security incidents will minimize damage, improve recovery time, restore business operations, and avoid high costs. It might just save the company. So, to quote Ben Franklin one last time, look before or you'll find yourself behind. In other words, foresight and preventative action is key. Having a well-thought-out IR plan and top-notch IR team in place will soften the blow for the day when that cyber attack happens.